This is Anna from Koala Soap, and I'm back. I had a child go off to college, and I don't know if you can hear it in the background. We've had construction going on and a lot behind us for quite a while now, and the only time I can really make these videos is when I have one of the kids at school. So I will cut to music as soon as I can after I explain what I'm doing here. So Kaylin went off to college, and basically I went to pack her up, and I had Dove soap that was still in the package. I don't even know how long it's been here. And I said, oh, here's some soap for you. And she said, well, is it soap you made? And I said, no, I'm out of the soap I made. And she's like, well, then I don't want it. I only want the soap that you made in my dorm. Okay, so I'm going to be making her some soap. I'll be using a lavender scent from Brambleberry. I'm going to be doing my usual design. And what I'm going to do is, instead of 4 colors, like I usually do, 2 clears and then 2 shea butter melt and pour soap base, so I have a lighter and a darker of each color. I'm only going to try 3 colors today, and we're going to go for a purple theme, and with the lavender, so kind of like lavender. That is Kaylin's favorite, and so that's what I'd like to do. So what I'm going to do is, I have in each of these cups here, I have the 3. I have 5 ounces of melt and pour soap base, 2 clears, and 1 shea butter melt and pour soap base. I have to make sure I say that, because sometimes people think I'm just putting shea butter in there. No, it's an actual soap base. So links to everything I am doing are in the description below. And as you know, when I always pour, it's always a challenge to get exactly the right amount. This is 12 ounces, so 15 here, 5, 5, and 5, plus 12 ounces of, again, shea butter melt and pour soap base. I'm going to be using Stardust Micas. I'm going to be using a gold color, and they're purple, which I believe is called Violet Petal. And then, of course, a little bit of glitter. You know how I love to do that. Let's go ahead and get these melted down, and then we'll start mixing our micas. And I think we'll cut to the music so you don't have to hear all the construction. We're done. So these are all melted down. Right now they're all about 150. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pour a little bit of alcohol into my little containers. Just a little bit. And we're going to mix the mica with this alcohol. The alcohol will evaporate off once it's in the soap. Oops, that was a little much, but okay, we'll just leave it. Okay, and I'm going to put these in here so you can see better. So I'm going to do a light purple, a dark purple, and then I'm just going to do a gold just as it is, because if I mix this gold into an opaque, it's not going to look gold anymore. It'll look, I don't know, maybe flesh colored, I'm not sure, but it won't look like what we're going for. So there is our gold, and then here is our purple. And then one more purple. And these are the spoons everyone asked. I got them at our local yogurt place. You can get them on Amazon. I just asked for a couple of extra spoons when I get anything at the place here. So we're going to mix our gold here, and it's going to go right in there. And then we're going to squirt this out just so we get every last drop. And we will mix this. Okay, so we have 5 ounces right there of our gold. And then we are going to mix our purple. How I came up with this color scheme, it's been in my head for a little while now. And now that I've got Kaylin moved in, pretty much, she's only 20 minutes away, but I really miss her. I mean, you just have no idea how much you miss your kids till they walk out the door there. Okay, and then here is our shea butter melt and pour, and we're going to put that in there to make it more of a light purple. Now the scent we're going to be using is a lavender from Brambleberry. And my rule is 5 mLs or 5 cc's per 16 ounces. So we have here we have 15 ounces, so we're one under. So I can actually use the 5, and I actually have it right here. Let's see what we're at, because we don't really want to hit the flash point. The flash point on this said, I think it said 150, and we're at 122, 132 on these. So let me go ahead and pull it up. So there is 2.5, 2, and 1-ish there. This is a 3 ml pipette, so we will put a little bit more here and a little bit more here. Okay. You don't have to be perfect, but I like to stick to the measurements. And then in our bigger one, which is about 13 ounces, we'll put in another, I don't need to put in a whole bunch of lavender because it can also be overbearing. What we'll do is we'll just kind of see how this smells when we're done, and then we'll kind of gauge it there. We are at 130s. We know that these will cool down a lot faster than this one will. Just the clear soaps, the soaps in the clear melt and pour will always cool down faster. So I'm actually going to pour this one first, because that way it'll cool down a lot faster once it hits this mat. And I'm just going to make a little design, and then we will go ahead and start pouring. Okay, in case you can't understand what I'm doing here, I'm pouring it really slowly because, again, the shea butter takes a lot longer to cool down. These are already at like 115. I'm making sure, and I'm pouring just a little bit over. I want to make sure it still floats on top because I don't want it to muddle the colors. So that's what you're seeing me do. I'll try to put a little note on the screen in case you're watching this in silence. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure that these don't muddle together. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these set just a little bit more, and then I will mix them in off camera, and then we'll go ahead and start rolling everything into our ball. Back. I was able to pull all of those unused melt and pour, and what I do is I place it in here. You have to be careful with your placement. You don't want to put it, you know, like a whole bunch of the light purple here or there. You know, you just kind of want to spread it out a little bit. The only one I'm kind of worried about is this clump right here, but I'm actually going to just leave it. I think it's going to add to it. I think we said, what, 12 or 13 ounces of shea butter melt and pour soap here. A little hot right now still. It is 138. I'm sorry, I just checked. It was 140. So now it's 138. We're going to go ahead and get our mold here, and then this we have calculated several times. It's between 24 and 26 ounces. It depends on what I'm melting and the density, I guess. And then I have my little pink mold left over here for any of this that's left over. So I tried to go a little bit over here. I actually believe I have about 27 to 28 mLs, or I'm sorry, ounces here. I'm not going to put any more scent in here. If you wanted to, you could put another 2 mLs in here. The reason I'm not is it's very fragrant as it is, and I just don't think I need to do it. So while this is cooling down, I don't ever pour this on top of this until it's at under 130, just because I don't want, again, to blunt the colors and have them run together. So that's why we're doing this. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll use either a skewer or a chopstick, and I'll poke holes in the ball once we have it in here. And the reason for that is that way that this soap here can actually get in between the nooks and crannies. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and cue the music so you don't have to hear the construction, and let's begin. Okay, had very little left. Unfortunately, I have to watch the first part of the video. I can't remember if I did 12 or 13 ounces to this, but we're close. We're much closer. So what I'm thinking happens here is the soap settles, and it settles kind of slowly. because you could see me adjusting it, and then it would sink more, which is great because I didn't have to poke a chopstick in it, because sometimes that'll leave like a line straight down. If you look at some of my other soaps, and I don't mind it, but it kind of disrupts the design, but I'll take it. I love it anyway. So I'm using a little bit of bio glitter. I know Kaylin likes her glitter. We are going to go ahead and let this sit. It is a little messy here, but I did pour a lot of soap on top to glue in these little shreds up here. But this was a pretty good estimate of soap here. This was never scented, so I can actually use it for something else. So I'll mix it with this once this dries a little bit more. We can use that for something else later. Let's let this cool down, and then we'll do our cutting. Okay, it's done, and I have taken it out of the mold. I don't know if you can really see the glitter on there. We're going to go ahead and cut it. Now, what's important to remember about this particular mold is you have a longer side and a shorter side, and I think it might be hard to see here, but this is the longer side. So when you're cutting it, you want to make sure you do the longer side so you can get 4 equal or close to equal soaps. So what I do is I put it in here, I move it all the way up and all the way over. The one thing I didn't check though was if that will clear. So this right here may not clear, so we might be smashing some soap down a little bit, or it broke off, so just as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and beautiful. That's what I was hoping for. Looks really pretty. I wonder if I should use a little bit more gold, but I don't know. And then here is, so that looks really, really beautiful. And that is kind of what I was envisioning. I think I was envisioning just a little bit more gold though. I'm not sure. Oops. One over. There we go. There you go. Okay. Oops. All right, and there you go. So it turned out really, really pretty. And it's not uncommon for some of the little top parts here to fall out, but that's okay. And then I'm going to keep the flat parts here. I'm going to keep these home, but these will go over to Kaylin and her roommate. And there's like one more coming off here. But there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to have more coming now that things have settled down here. And you guys have a really good weekend.